It's that time. Get the day started. Move my body, because I haven't today. I haven't moved yet today. Anybody else with me? All right. First, let me just tell you all the things. So I have this really, really cute golden doodle, Akila. Hi, love. See, I say her name and she wags her tail. I decided this year to do a little experiment as winter came and fall ended. And I decided not to rake my leaves to see if they would, I don't know, supposedly it's supposed to be good for your yard. Well, every single time my golden doodle, who I've decided to become really fluffy and not cut her hair, every time she goes outside and comes back in, I get dried leaves all over my house. I go up the stairs, it's filled with dry leaves. On my bed, dry leaves. Downstairs, dry leaves. So I'll have to rethink this next year. Where are all the people? Anywho, on another note, what else was I going to say? Oh, so I'm drinking out of my Oy Vey mug today. And I decided to buy the Heinen's hazelnut coffee beans because now I'm grinding my own beans. Yeah, not so great. I'll drink it, but I've become a little bit of a coffee snob. So I want to know. It's hot though. In the comments, and you're probably rewatching this because nobody's on quite yet. Do you have a favorite coffee brand for coffee beans or ground coffee or K-Cups for that matter? Do you have a favorite brand of coffee? Please let me know because this new coffee snob here needs some help. It's not working so well for me. All right, that's number 2. Number 3. Before I get to number 3, have you taken our quiz yet? No, I'll come back to that in a minute. Number 3. My word for the year, and if you have a word for the year, please let me know what it is. My word for the year is uncomfortable. Instagram has, since I've been on for the last 3.5 minutes, it says, we're telling your followers that you started a live video. Maybe I have no followers, but that's not true. Okay, so my word for the year was uncomfortable. Does anybody else have a word for the year? And in being uncomfortable, I'm trying really hard to, do things that make me feel uncomfortable. Duh. So I made a couple videos of me singing, and I haven't done that online for this audience ever before. I used to be a voice performance major for a small time and sang all my life. I was a professional singer a little bit, semi-professional, I would say, meaning I sang gigs that got paid from time to time. And for as long as I can remember, I was on stage singing. Well, I haven't done that for the last 12 years since I became a mom. And when I sing around the house, my son says, "Mom, be quiet, stop singing." How dare he? But I decided to sing on a video. So you'll have to follow all my pages, mostly Instagram, but and eventually we'll post them for you. But it was pretty uncomfortable to say the least. So when you see it, please give me some grace. Now, have you, I don't know, for the people who are watching, if you have not started your adoption journey yet, or if you just started, or if you're thinking about it, have you taken our quiz? First of all, who loves a quiz? I love a quiz. I take almost every quiz I find online. Yes, I know I have to give the email to get the whole, but I don't even care. Like, I love clicking on all the pictures and seeing what, who I am and what my love interest is gonna be and all the things. So we have a quiz, and it was really fun to make. It was really fun to make. It's called, and if you're on Facebook or YouTube, I'm going to share it right now, but we have a quiz. It's called, Are You Ready to Adopt Your Baby This Year? Hey, Valerie, do you have a quiz on your stuff? And do you love taking them as much as I do? Like, who's your famous doppelganger? What sign are you best compatible with? What brand are you? I recently took one about a wardrobe. Like, what's the best clothes for you? Quizzes will tell you everything about your life that you need to know, including, are you ready to adopt your baby this year? Find out. I don't have a quiz, but I can't wait to see yours. But let me just show you. Hold on. I'm going to turn my phone around. Let's see if I can. So this is what it looks like. And if you just type the word quiz in the comments, only if you're on Instagram. If you're not, I'll have it scrolling on my screen. But it talks about mindset. It talks about open adoption and how that makes you feel. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But at the end, it will tell you. And again, if you want to know what I'm talking about, just type the word quiz and you'll see in your inbox, like magic, it should work. So I want to know if it works. So somebody please test it out for me. Just type the word quiz in the comments. Facebook and YouTube, you just have to go to the link that's scrolling across the screen. But type the word quiz in the comments right now and see if you get a message. It's magic. We just set up some magic that'll come right to you. But it'll tell you things like if you are ready to rock and roll, you're in a good place, or if you need to educate yourself a little bit more. And it will give you the tools to be able to do that. So I invite you to type the word quiz in the comments. It'll magically appear in your inbox. And I really want to know what the outcome was, what it said for you, and if it's what you expected. I'd love to know. So if you type the word quiz, and if you don't know how to spell it, it's Q-U-I-Z, just in case. And I just want to acknowledge, for anyone who sees like that big, huge pile of white paperwork behind me, no, I'm not applying to adoption agencies, and I'm not doing my home study, because sometimes it feels like it's, that big. That amount of paperwork. But I already did my taxes, you guys. I mean, I'm the girl that does it the day before. So that's all the stuff that I get to shred, and I just haven't yet. It'll probably sit there for months, so get used to it. All right. I'm going to step on to my soapbox and get started. There's a lot today. I don't know if I'll get through it all, and I'm somebody who wears one contact, and I used to wear it in my right eye. And so my left eye would see close and my right eye would see far. But I just switched them, and I can see better, but my brain isn't used to it yet. So it feels like I'm missing something in my right eye, which I am, a contact, but it's hard for me to focus in right away. So I have some notes over here. I don't know what's going on this year, you guys, but there have been a lot of fall throughs, a lot of scammers, a lot of, I just got done saying that our statistics have been showing us that longer matches tend to fare very well and tend to go through more often than shorter matches. Well, that shit is in the drain. I mean, I can't. Like, there are no trends. So there's no rhyme or reason. No matter how good of a relationship you think you have, no matter if you've gone to visit a couple times, it can still fall through, and it could, which is fine. Like, that alone is fine. That's her right, and it hurts also. And there are a lot of scammers out there that just know how to ride the wave. My God, I don't know how they do it for that long. It's like, wow. It's an art for sure, but it sucks. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. If you missed my live, I just choked on my coffee. If you missed my live last Thursday, go back and listen to it, because I talked a lot about fall throughs and actually what adoption truly is. And actually, the quiz that we have, if you just put quiz in the chat below or follow the scroll across the screen, will hit on some of that, like what adoption really is and what it means, and if you've done the work already. So take that quiz. So how long does it take to bounce back after a fall through? After an adoption that you've been waiting to happen and hoping to happen doesn't happen? I think it depends on a lot of things, right? Are you somebody that came in to this, journey knowing that a fall through is likely to happen? You hope it doesn't, but you know that if it does, you can move forward, and somehow you protected your heart, and you just know, you've already told yourself, if this doesn't go through, we're going to hop right back on the roadmap and continue moving forward. So if you have set up your mindset for that, I think that truly helps you to be able to bounce back quicker. If this has happened to you, you feel free to let me know. If this is a huge fear of yours, type in fear in the comments, because it's a fear of a lot of people. So having that mindset going in definitely helps you to recover a little quicker afterwards. Shorter matches. So if it just happened within a month or two, or even a week, or I've had people that have been matched and chosen after the baby was born, flew out, and then mom changed her mind. If it was that quick, it's a quick blow and it hurts bad. And I think it's easier to bounce back quicker. It also depends how much money you lost and how much money you have, right? I mean, let's face it, financials are not easy. And if you're working with a consultant, work closely with that consultant, or even better, your adoption finance coach, which is a program that we partner with. So our families can utilize that to help to see, are you able to get grants or loans, or is there money, untapped money somewhere that you weren't thinking about? So if it was a shorter match, I think it's a little bit easier to bounce back. Financially, I think it's a little easier to bounce back if you're not as worried. And if it's a very long match and you've gone to visit, or you've had conversations, and then at the last, you've prepared because all signs pointed to go, that's when I think it's really hard. And that's when, and again, go back and watch last week's live. But that's where that anger inside of you, and that shame and blame and all the negativity, has this tends to creep up. And so you have to put that in check. And I think that longer matches are harder to overcome. And you need to do things. So one of my families that just happened to. And they're like, what can we do? I also think in adoption, hello, greetings from Uganda. I'm doing well. Nice to see you here. So we typically just talk about adoptions within the United States. That's all. I get that question sometimes. Can you help if we're in another country? And even if you're like an expat, yeah, maybe, or on here on a green card, maybe. It's not easy, but mostly within the U.S. You might want to talk to an adoption competent therapist. That could be very helpful as well. They have been through this. They have been through probably with their clients the loss through infertility and then adoption and then having community. So this happened recently to a family of ours. I told them to hop in our community if they're comfortable, even if they're not comfortable enough sharing. But if you are, even better, that they are not alone. If you are inside of a safe community where you can say anything and not worry that anybody's going to make a judgment, but to say this happened to us too, and this is what helped, they got about 15 comments like that, and then emailed me saying, oh my God, our community is the best. It has helped so much to know that we're not alone. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Listening to people's reviews online, social media. I don't know. Julius asked me if I know where Uganda is located. Well, I've never been there, but I do know. I don't know if I could point it out on the map, but listening to people's reviews online, social media. Social media can be your friend and it can be your enemy. And you have to know how to sort through social media. I always recommend go look online before you sign up with an agency, before you sign up with a home study. Look online. And also know there are going to be negative reviews about every single agency that you look for online. Just know that. Kind of like knowing that adoption fall throughs happen. Know that there's going to be negativity about every adoption agency out there. And that is because, and again, this goes back to how you show up when something hard happens, right? Are you somebody that needs to spew it and needs to place blame? Because a lot of people online, that's what they're doing. They may have had a bad personal journey and need to place blame on somebody. Nikki G, I don't know if you meant to request to come online, but I'm happy to bring you on. If you have a question about adoption, just let me know. Oh, actually, no, I'm not doing that this morning because I'm also on other platforms. But so just know that when you are looking at social media, look for consistency, right? Are there a couple here and there that are saying negative things? Or are they all negative and all saying the same thing? And how many positive comments are there as well? But beyond that, you also need to look at the stats, right? So stats also talk. So just take social media as a learning experience and to learn more, but don't make total judgment based just on social media reviews. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked by some of the comments. Again, if you are thinking about adoption and that is something on your radar, in Instagram, just type the word quiz below and you will be able to take it. There are a couple more things. I wanted to get into explaining adoption to your kids. I'm not going to talk to it, and also somebody asked about, and this is really good, like old school parents and open adoption. That was a hard one for me too. I'll touch just briefly on both of these. Explaining adoption to your kids. I would say that books are your best friend there. There are so many. I wish I had some to pull right now. I think I've given away all my kid books to different people, but and I can't think of any offline. But if you look up adoption children's book, there are, I wonder, hold on. I don't think I have it, but there are definitely books out there for siblings. When you are going through adoption, to explain it to siblings, there are books out there that explain adoption really nice, that talk about birth moms and bio moms and who they are and what adoption is. So I definitely recommend turning to books as a way to talk to your kids about adoption. Also, TheraPlay. I wanted to mention TheraPlay. There's a lot of organizations around the country that have, and I think it's a trademark name TheraPlay. It's a mode of therapy that incorporates play, and it's geared towards children. I don't know if it's children with overall trauma or just adoption. I don't exactly know, but I know it's used a ton in adoption. So that's another way to talk to your children about adoption and give them the support that they need, as well as an adoption competent therapist who also maybe work with children. I would look at all those routes. Old school parents who are of the mindset of, why would you ever want an open adoption? Aren't you scared to visit? Aren't you scared they're going to take your baby away and want to parent again? And all the things. First, I get it. I get it. And it's natural because they want to make sure that you're protected, and they don't know a lot about adoption because they haven't been educated along with you. So number one, I would recommend buying this book for them. Yes, it's a shameless plug. It's called The Adoption Roadmap. It's by yours truly. It's very quick read, less than 100 pages, but it goes through every single step of the adoption process. Demystifying adoption, laying the foundation, the home study, working with adoption agencies and attorneys, birth mothers, who's a birth mother, the match, the birth, the adoption, post-adoption, legal, the cost of adoption. Talks about the adoption profile, creating your storybook. It talks about building your agency portfolio, a multi-agency approach, from connection to happily ever after, vetting adoption situations, more waiting, preparing for parenthood, congratulations on becoming a parent, finalization, benefits of working with an adoption consultant, and conclusion. So this is not going to dive into open adoption and why it's so important and who a birth mom is and what they're going through, but it'll lay the foundation for your parents as you're going through the process so that they have a better understanding of what it is you're going through. That's the first step. They'll be able to read this in 2 days. The Adoption Roadmap, it's on Amazon, less than $15. There are other great books and podcasts about open adoption that I recommend if your parents are really serious about understanding. Give them some of your favorite podcasts to start listening to and ask them if they will, or buy them a book on open adoption or on birth moms, or the primal wound, if that becomes an issue too, if they're not understanding why we think our kids, need so much support. Get those resources for your parents as well. If you're comfortable, you're never going to be able to give them as much as you understand. Teach them along the way some of the things that you're learning. So those are some suggestions. I know it's really hard for old school parents or any parent to totally understand what adoption is and all the layers and why open adoption when they're not walking in your shoes. Just like it's hard for some expectant parents who are just walking into adoption to understand who a birth mother is because they're not walking in their shoes. It's about creating empathy, right? So there's so much to learn, and all I can say is to try to bring your family into the fold through different resources. There's so much stuff now. There's really no excuse between podcasts, books, children's books, Facebook communities, going through all of my lives, they'll learn. So those are some of the things that came up this week. But again, I just wanted to mention that if you have not yet taken our quiz online to determine if adoption is right for you, and if you've done the work yet, just type the word quiz. If you're on Instagram, just type the word quiz below, and you'll be taken to this quiz where it says, are you ready to adopt your baby this year? Take this quiz and learn which path you should be taking to build your family. It's important to know if you're ready and equipped to begin this journey. Click on it, and it will take you through all the steps. I hope that you will do that and let us know. I really want to know what your outcome was. Quizzes are fun. Again, just type the word quiz below. That's all I've got for today. I will be on next Thursday morning, same time, same place. I hope you're well. Have a great weekend.